Hello. On today's episode of Business Success with Doug Barra, I'm going to talk to you about the how of planning. I've spoken before about the reasons for planning and some of the basics of planning, but I really want to talk about how do you go about creating an effective plan that's going to actually have you build something great. So let's start with talking about how do we create the beginning of the plan. Well, to create the beginning of the plan, we really have to look at dreams. And when we look at dreams, we want to be looking at what is it that we want? What is it that we've always desired? What is it that is that goal that's out there? And it's not even really a goal. It's more of a wish, a desire, something that we're planning on creating, something we're planning on doing, but it's not necessarily a goal. Because to be a goal, we have to know how we're going to do it, or at least know that it can be done. See, dreams are maybe 10 years out, and we don't necessarily know exactly how we're going to do them, but we're clear that they're things that we want. So we're going to work towards them. Now, I'm going to then take my dreams and I'm going to pull those down into goals. And a goal is something that's never more than 3 years out. Okay, so here we're looking at things that are a bit more precise. We're 3 years out, maybe 1 year out, maybe 90 days out. They're more precise. We have a much better feel for how we're going to get there, and we're going to be more clear on what it's going to take to get there. Then we're going to take those goals and we're going to pull them down into a plan. A plan is 90 days. Okay, so a plan is 90 days. It is a precise amount of time to get something done. And we use 90 days because inside of 90 days, you are more likely to be able to stay focused, to be able to accomplish something, and to actually get the plan done. So we want to make sure that we're looking at all of those things at the time when we're creating our plan. And I've said many times that a goal inside of a plan is not necessarily something you know how to do, because remember, that is just a to-do, but it's something that we're clear we're going to do, we're clear we can do, but we're not quite sure how we're going to get there. Finally, the last piece of this is action. Actions are on the court, what you're going to do on a day by day, week by week to actually accomplish that goal. And if you don't have all of this, then your planning is not going to be as effective as you would like it to be. And you can get a feel for how effective your planning is. Give yourself a score. 1 to 10. How clear are your dreams? How much do you dream? How much weight do you give to those dreams? A score of 1 to 10. How clear are your goals? Are they really just things you know you're going to do? Have you really taken the time to make those goals effective? How well do you plan? Do you actually take your goals and map them into a 90-day goal, milestones, and how I'm going to get this done. And then action. How good are you on actions? If you did that and you multiplied those out, you'd get a score. 10 times 10 times 10 times 10 would be the maximum score that you could get. This gives you the basis of understanding how to create an effective plan. Once you've gone through that and you understand all of that, you want to then actually use the Merlin process so that you can then take a goal and break it up into the milestones and the actions that you're going to take to make those happen. Now, what is the Merlin principle? The Merlin principle says that I am going to stand in the future fulfilled, stand in having this future complete, and I am going to then look back. I'm going to look back in time and see where was it, what was it that happened that made it a done deal that I was going to be here. Right? So I'm not sitting here at the bottom of the mountain looking up going, how am I going to get to the top? I'm standing at the top of the mountain looking down saying, this is how I got here. This is the Merlin principle. It's called the Merlin principle because Merlin the magician always said that he lived his life backwards. So I want you to live your life backwards. I want you to stand in the end of the period with the goal complete. So if we put that on a timeline, this is the end. And we're going to start with the end in mind. And we're going to stand here and we're going to look back. And we're going to look back to some milestone. And identify that milestone that made it a done deal that we were going to get here. Then you're going to step into this milestone and again look back towards another milestone and say what occurred that had it be a done deal that I got here. And we're going to repeat this as many times as we need to create enough milestones that we can accomplish the goal. Then we take each milestone and we work forward inside of the milestone. You can also do this Merlin principle backwards, but when we're looking at a 90-day goal, if this were 90 days and I was looking back, and in that case probably 2 milestones is plenty, all right? If I'm looking at a year goal, then I would probably want 3 milestones so that I have, by the way, just to remind everybody, this is now. All right. If I'm looking at a year, I might do it based on quarters. That way I have my 90 days. 90 days is equal to 1 quarter. So I could do this for looking at my year goal, breaking it up into 90-day milestones. Then take that 90-day milestone, split it out, and do maybe 3. I have months. All right. It doesn't have to be based on time. It can be based purely on an event that occurred, something that happened, that when that happened, it was clearly a done deal that I was going to get here. And that is how you create very effective plans. I look forward to seeing you in my next video.